If you have a hard time falling asleep before exams, I'm with you. I've had the same experience. It can be tough when you've got a big exam and you just want to get to sleep the night before and you're tossing and turning and thinking about the exam and it's stressful. Huge hassle. The good news is I've dealt with this a lot and I found some solutions that are really good, really helpful stuff. So I've got a couple things here that I want to share with you, specifically things that you should not do. Things that if you stop doing this, it will be much easier to fall asleep before exams. So let's get into it. So the first thing that you really want to stop doing is putting sleep pressure on yourself. So sleep pressure is that situation where you are telling yourself as you're falling asleep, as you're trying to fall asleep, you've got a big exam tomorrow, you've got to fall asleep, you've got to get a good night's sleep. If you don't fall asleep, it's going to be bad and you're going to not sleep well and you're going to do bad on the exam and chatter. Woo, stressful, right? It's bad news. So you want to stop sleep pressure. And it's going to sound counterintuitive. A lot of the things I'm going to tell you here are going to sound kind of weird. They might sound like reverse of what people tell you, but when you're trying to fall asleep before an exam and you're not able to, just stop trying so hard. Just say, whatever. If I don't fall asleep, it's not a big deal. I don't really care. And this is actually a principle or a strategy that comes from mindfulness. There's this idea that once you let go of an expectation or let go of a desired outcome, the outcome pops up much more easily. But here's the good news too. I went and dug in and saw a bunch of research. And there's a bunch of research that basically says just this. It says that if you don't fall asleep exactly perfectly, if you sleep a little bit poorly one night, if you are, you're waking up a lot or you have a hard time falling asleep, it's really not going to stop you from doing well academically. That's not to say you need to never sleep again. Sleeping is very, 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 very important for academic success. However, one night here or there, if you don't sleep perfectly, not going to be the end of the world. And don't take my word for it. Just look in the comments below. I've got all those research studies linked below and you can go read them yourself and see. But ultimately, I summarize them all for you. Not a big deal if you don't sleep perfectly. So take that pressure off yourself. Just say, whatever. I'm just going to lay here. I'm going to relax. It's fine. I don't really care if I fall asleep. And before you know it, it gets that much easier to fall asleep. So the other thing that I really recommend people to do, and I realize this is kind of hard and not as fun and not as kind of, it's tough, but you want to try and get to bed at the same time every day to the best of your ability. And what that means, and this is the counterintuitive part, this is the part where you're going to say, wait, this doesn't make sense. This is not what people told me. But a lot of people say, I've got a big exam. I got to get to bed really early. I'm going to go to bed at 8:30 in the evening. And then they go and they do fall asleep a little bit because they're stressed and tired. And then they wake up and then they're up and then they can't fall back asleep. So don't do that. If you always go to bed at 10:30 p.m. before your exam, go to bed at 10:30 p.m. If you generally go to bed at 10:30 p.m., especially in the days leading up to the exam, try and go to bed at that same time every day. What this basically does is it gets your circadian rhythm, right, your body's natural clock, nice and lined up. It gets it lined up so that your body expects and knows when you want to go to sleep every night. So when you have that big exam and you're feeling a little stressed that night and you go to your bed and it's 10:30, your body's going to say, okay, I know the drill. 10:30 is when I fall asleep. So those are the two big things that I tell everybody not to do if you struggle to fall asleep before tests. And the last thing that I'd say you should do is try out a meditation. So right here, I've got Breathe linked. It is a great meditation for falling asleep. It's very relaxing. I would definitely do it. I'll walk you right through the meditation in this video right here.